Hey folks, welcome back. I have your latest home prices and insights for the City of Toronto for week ending September 21, 2022. You want to avoid a ton of headaches in buying and selling? Get it in writing. I can't believe how many people still haven't figured this out. If you're a seller and the dishwasher isn't working properly and you want the buyer to take it as is, make sure in the agreement it's in writing. Dishwasher as is, non-functioning, and that's the way the buyer is going to buy it. If you're a seller and your alarm system, all the equipment is part of a contract and you need the buyer to assume this, make sure it's in writing. Buyer to assume alarm system, it's written in there and it's all signed off properly. If you're a buyer and there's a ton of firewood in the backyard and you've got no use for this firewood, but you want it gone, you don't want to deal with it yourself, make sure it's in writing that the seller will remove the firewood from the backyard. If there's a playset in the backyard, if there's a freezer in the basement that you want, whatever it is, it's nice to think, oh, we'll just talk about it with the other party and as long as we agree it's okay. No, it's not okay. I can't tell you how many headaches sellers and buyers have just because they didn't get it in writing or their realtors didn't have the foresight to make sure it's in writing. Get it in writing. You'll save a ton of headaches. If you think this video can help somebody you know, please pass it along. Let's get into the numbers. If you want to speak with me about your real estate situation, selling, buying, it's really simple. Below this video in the description, there's a link to my calendar. Click on that, book a time that's convenient for you. This way I'll know ahead of time. I'll make sure my calendar is organized so we could speak about whatever's on your mind. You know, everybody expects prices to be coming down. Almost everybody expects prices to be coming down. We would expect with the higher interest rates, lower affordability, all sorts of things happening in the world, inflation, all these factors should be having prices come down further. But it's not what's happening. There's so many people ready to tell you what's going to happen tomorrow and in the months ahead. I can't do that. It would be a guess. Nobody can tell you with certainty what's going to happen. Although lots of people are prepared to tell you, it's still just a guess. The numbers that I'm showing you have already happened. None of these numbers that I'm about to show you are a guess. They're all fact. It's all already happened. So you got to ask, well, why am I showing you numbers that have already happened? Well, most people don't even know that. Most people don't even know what's actually happening right now. So, generally speaking, in the last 8 weeks or so, prices, and again, I'm generalizing, but prices have kind of plateaued a bit in the last 8 weeks, which I don't think anybody really expected, but that's the reality of prices right now. Will they go down? I don't know. But I can tell you from working with buyers and sellers, to me, the biggest factor right now keeping prices kind of steady is the fact that there's way more buyers still than sellers. And for sure, there's tons of buyers on the sideline choosing not to buy because they feel prices are coming down further. And there's lots of sellers on the sidelines. If they're on the sidelines, they don't count. I'm talking about buyers and sellers that are currently in the game. There's still more buyers than sellers. When we start working with a new buyer, I can show them 4 or 5 properties in the neighborhood that they want. And then after that, we got to wait a while before there's another set of properties we could show them. It's not, the next few days, let's go see another 4 or 5. Sometimes we got to wait a few weeks before we could see other ones. And the one desirable property that comes up, well, it's not just good for my buyer, it's good for all the buyers out there, and they compete on that one property. Now, what's a desirable property? Could be price, could be condition, combination of all that. But the good properties are going fast still at asking or more, and there's multiple offers, and the less desirable ones sit for a little while. But there's still more buyers than sellers, and right now, that's where we are. I'm going to show you the numbers now. Will things change? Probably. Most people expect them to. But right now, let me tell you what's really going on in the City of Toronto. So this is for detached properties. City of Toronto only for a whole year, broken down by week. Sales went up, and we kind of did. It's the fall market. We do expect, kind of a little bit of a uptick in sales and prices. Sales went up to 133 detached properties being sold. 37 of those were at $2 million or more, which is up by 10 from the previous week, where we sold 27 at $2 million or more. Average sold price jumped way up to $1,727,000. $1,727,000 is 4% lower than last year's average sold price. Well, let's look at the 4-week moving average. So average sold prices here. The dotted line is the 4-week moving average. If we go back to the beginning of August, that dotted line is, it's up and down a little bit, but it's kind of steady. If we look at just the actual average prices, it does look like maybe it's been going up a little bit. The blue here is the median price. Well, median price is $1,425,000, and if we go back beginning of August, we can see it kind of looks like it's, well, not kind of looks like that. Median price has been trending upwards right now. That's all Toronto for the detached market. Year-to-date sales, we have 29% fewer sales this year versus last year. And the amount of properties that sold at list price or more jumped way up. We're at 44% of the detached properties sold at list price or more, which is way up from where we've been over the last 8 weeks. Sales, listings, 8% fewer listings this year versus last year. And months of inventory came down slightly, is now sitting at 2.4 months of inventory. Average days on market is 15, which is one of the lowest numbers that we've had since the beginning of August, since basically the beginning of July. We've not had average days on market at 15 before. It's been a while now. Let's look at Toronto from 3 different sections, West, Central, and East. A quick summary here when we look at average sold price. East and West Toronto average sold price went up. For Central Toronto, average sold price has come down. Here's a snapshot of West Toronto. 43 detached properties were sold. 9 were at $2 million or more. Average sold price shot way up, $1,584,000, which is 2% higher than what the average price was a year ago. Median price is 6% lower than where median price was a year ago. This is for West Toronto and detached properties only. When we look at the 4-week moving average, for average price, it's a little bit all over the place here. But when we look at the median price, it looks like it's kind of trending down a little. Not kind of, I keep saying kind of, but it's actually trending down a little bit there. And months of inventory for West Toronto is sitting at 2.8 months of inventory. 21% of the properties sold in West Toronto sold at list price or more. Here's Central Toronto. 38 detached properties were sold. 24 were at $2 million or more. Average sold price in Central Toronto is $2,463,000. So when we look at $2,463,000 and we look at the median price of $2,460,000, it's pretty much the same. Average sold price is 5% lower than where the average sold price was a year ago. Median price is way up there. I mean, it's just the 1 week, so let's not look too much into that. But median price is 27% higher than what it was a year ago. We look at the 4-week moving averages, which is the dotted line, the moving average here, and it kind of looks like it's trending upwards. Here's months of inventory is 3.2 for Central Toronto, and 37% of the properties sold in Central Toronto sold at list price or more. Here's East Toronto. 52 detached properties were sold. As far as sales and amount of property selling at $2 million or more, it's exactly the same as the previous week. So 52 sold. 4 of those were at $2 million or more. Average sold price is $1,309,000. When we look at the 4-week moving average, it's come down then up again. But $1,309,000 is 7% lower than last year's average price, and the median price of $1,150,000 is 8% lower than last year's median price. And the median price, if we go back 8 weeks or so, it was coming down, and now it looks like it's been going up when we look at the 4-week rolling average. Months of inventory is sitting at 1.4. Now 1.4 is low for a kind of market that we think we're in. Lots of people talking about balanced market, buyer's market. Not in East Toronto. When you're looking at 1.4 months of inventory, 13 is the average days on market, and 56% of those properties sold at list price or more. Here's a summary of West Central and East. East Toronto is basically your East York, Beaches, Scarborough. That's East Toronto. It normally has the highest sales, the lowest average prices, and the lowest months of inventory. But the most action, most activity, and 56% sold at list price or more. It is the most competitive market. Let's take a look at semi-detached properties. 56 semi-detached properties were sold, and that's one of the highest weeks we've had all summer. So 56 were sold. 7 of those were at $1.5 million or more. Average sold price is sitting at $1,209,000. $1,209,000 is 10% lower than last year's average sold price for semis. The median price is $1,068,000, which is 15% lower than last year's median price. Months of inventory for semi-detached properties is sitting at 1.3. 46% of the semis sold at list price or more, and 56 semi-detached were sold, just as a reminder. So for townhouses, 11. Only 11 freehold townhouses were sold. 3 of those were at $1.5 million or more. Average sold price, it's only 11, so kind of take it with a grain of salt. Average sold price is way up at $1,240,000. $1,240,000 is 13% higher than last year's average sold price. Median price is 15% higher than last year's median price. Months of inventory for townhouses is now sitting at 2.5 months of inventory. Here's condos. Sales actually came down from the previous week. I would have expected sales to go up a bit higher than what we did the previous week, but sales came down. 167 condos were sold. 23 of those were at $1 million or more. Average sold price for condos went up a little bit, is now sitting at $800,000. $800,000 is 5% higher than last year's average sold price. When we look at the amount of condos sold at $1 million or more. So this year we sold 23. Last year we sold, for the same week, 52 condos at $1 million or more. So it's more than double, yet we're still 5% higher than last year's average sold price. 5% higher as far as the average sold price goes. Median price of $660,000 is 3% higher than last year's median price. So let's look here for condos. Let's look at the 4-week moving average. When we look at average sold price and we look at the 4-week moving average, a dotted line, it kind of looks like prices are going up. But when we look at the median price and we look at the 4-week moving average, prices are trending down. Year-to-date sales, we have 30% fewer condo sales this year versus last year. So year-to-date, January 1st to September 21st. Listings, 7% fewer listings this year versus last year, year-to-date. And months of inventory for condos is up there quite high. It's now at 3.7 months of inventory. 26 is the average days on market. Here's a summary of all the months of inventory. Remember what I said at the beginning? It's so hard to predict the future and where things are going to go. And no matter what, it's just a guess. Doesn't matter who's telling you. Anything beyond today is a guess. This is what's happening right now, and most people don't even know this part. So I hope this information is useful for you. It's a generalization of what's happening in the market, but I think you'll find it more accurate than most out there. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.